Semen retention, y'all. Semen retention. To me, what does that mean? Uh, Resistance against sexual pleasure, sexual desire. I do believe that it's important. I do believe that it has a psychological effect on a man. And I do encourage it. But we're going to talk about why I encourage it. Let's get into it. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Just remember you're special. Feeling hopeless and alone, just remember there's always God there to be there to help you. Put in effort, make mistakes. No one on this earth is perfect. Trials and tribulations, both in life, are guaranteed, but in the end, it's all worth it. I'm hoping and I'm praying. This is something relatable, and the words are beneficial when someone out there can understand what I'm saying. Mind, muscle, motivation. Let's stop playing. Share it with the nation. What they do though? It's mind, muscle, spirit, motivation. Again, mind, muscle, spirit, motivation. I ask sincerely that you like, subscribe, share. I am trying to give out suggestions. I am trying to pour down my wisdom. I'm trying to give you that sauce that you can pour on the food that you eat, that you consume every single day to make it better. That's all I'm trying to do. Today, I want to talk about semen retention. Look here, I do understand that this is a awkward subject, especially for my younger men out there, younger guys. But it's something to be talked about. And listen, like I said before, I do believe that it has a psychological effect. And I don't know the science behind it, but I will tell you from my own personal experience, when I am resisting sexual desire and sexual pleasure, I do have an effect. Now, obviously, when you give in to the when you resist instead of giving into it, you are you're resisting that instant gratification that you can seek anytime, any place, almost that you want. Now, when you're resisting that, does it give you the hunger even more? Yes. But listen, and try to stay with me. Try to hear me out instead of putting words in my mouth. Don't hear what you want to hear. I do believe that when you are starving and craving something, I, for one, would rather have that hunger and that desire rather than giving into it and just eating any and everything that I can get my hands on. I'd rather have the thirst instead of quenching it every single time, if you get what I mean. I rather I rather starve my desire for anything rather than just giving into it, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to give into everything. You got to have some type of standards. Right here is a here. I'll let you know when she's here.
Okay.
So all in all, long story short, for my young teenagers out there, think about the greatest athletes that you're influenced by. Think about boxers. What do? They isolate themselves, obviously away from females, their wives, whatever. They for my boxers, before they get ready for a fight, obviously they train, but a lot of them they will go out. They'll go out into maybe a cabin they have far away so they can be focused. And I, for one, like to think that they're also doing a semen retention because, it keeps their body strong. I'm not going to go into detail, but when you give in to that sexual desire, you're making your body weak. Again, I'm not going into detail, but how do you feel after you've pleased yourself, after you've had a quick fix, whatever? You feel tired, right? That's the only science I know behind it. So when you keep all your B12s and all that other stuff that you release when you give in, that's stuff that you're losing from your body. You want to be strong, okay? That's the only science I have behind that I know behind that. But also, Obviously, when you have a sexual desire, it's towards someone, right? If you're going to give into that in order to release that sexual desire, you got to think about them, right? You're going to think about them. So, me for one, personally, I don't want to think about that entertainer, whatever that female may be. So, I'm trying to ignore all thoughts that I have because the more you repeat it, the more you believe it. So, when you think about a person you find sexually attractive for so long, you're going to do something that you don't want to do. And then you're going to be controlled by that person. I have a whole dialogue behind that. I believe that, when you're thinking about a person, I think about it far beyond just sexual desire. That person don't know you. That person doesn't care to know you. That person has power over you just from their looks, because that's all you know. You don't know nothing about the person. Like I said, I dive way deeper because that's how I am on myself. I'm a lot harder on myself than anybody else. So when it comes to this subject matter, I really like to think all the way into it. But again, for me, all the other things I mentioned, those are what I know, but my own personal experience and my own personal standards, it tells me when you give in to a sexual desire because you find a person attractive and you don't have any type of retention, that person is controlled by you and they will never know it. But when that person comes around, they're going to make you feel a certain type of way. You're not going to be as confident. You're not going to be able to stick your chest out and be the man that you want to be. Instead, you're going to be a little boy. You're going to be their puppet and they're going to be controlled by you just from their looks. Now, I don't know about you, but our age is going to grow whether we want to or not. And it doesn't mean that we're going to grow. But as my age increases, I want my knowledge, my confidence, I want everything to increase along with it. And I can honestly say I've never been too much of a puppet when it comes to these females. I'm not going to sit here and say, I am a man. No. Yes, I'm a man, but I've never been tossed and turned by a bunch of females. I just haven't. My problem is I've just been back and forth. But as far as, your body count, I don't have that. And again, I'm not going to go into it. But I don't have a large body count, and I'm proud to say that because a person of my caliber, and I say this not with arrogance, but if you look at me, you probably would judge me and think that, you know, you'll probably have a lot to judge just by looking at me. And a lot of times, people pass judgment on me, and they're wrong. We're always wrong just by going off a person's looks. But again, that's going off a person's looks. But again, I encourage semen retention. I do believe that it works. And again, it's just it's a psychological pattern that you have and that you create that comes with it. As I said before, in order to even have any type of sexual desire, you got to think about that person. And a lot of times it's a person that we know, it's a person that we come across. So if you don't fulfill your sexual desire towards that person, okay, you can actually be around them and you can be yourself. You don't have to feel uncomfortable. You don't have to be checking them out when they're having a conversation with you. You don't have to have sunglasses on and the whole time you're looking at them up and down. And when they walk away, you're looking at them as they walk away. And for a female, obviously this goes both ways, but the same thing applies for a female. If you're not fulfilling your sexual desire and your craving towards a man, you can actually be around that man and not think those thoughts that you think when you're alone. It's as I'm always saying, everything starts up here. This is testimonial right here. Everything starts right here. And if you've done it up here, you're going to be doing it when you're with that person. You're going to create some type of setting to where you can literally and physically do it. Or just even when you're having a conversation with that person, you've already done it mentally. So you're going to be doing it mentally when you're talking to them, and you're not going to be able to have those. Um, you're not going to be able to have those conversations You're not going to be able to have those settings to when you can be with that person without feeling a certain type of way. I have too much going on within myself, and I'm not about to sit here and let no sexual desire make me uncomfortable around you, because I already have a lot to make me uncomfortable anyway. And that's something that I can prevent. So I'm going to do just that. But have I perfected it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it's a subject matter that I'm always hearing about. And it's a subject matter where I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to see my own thoughts on the subject. I wanted to see my own wisdom behind what I can give, my own suggestions behind what I can, let be shared. So do I believe in semen retention? Absolutely. Do I believe that it works? Absolutely. Like I said before, your greatest of athletes, when they're in training, a lot of them, they're not having any type of horizontal activity. Nothing's going on. They're locked in. And I don't know what's going on with their wives. A lot of those wives, that's something that they complain about. Just do your research. And I guess that's why the stuff happens that happen with athletes and people that are so focused and locked in. But again, that's a whole nother subject matter. But your greatest athletes, that's what they do. They have semen retention. They let their body build up all those things that they need without it being released. And that's why they're able to be what they are, and that's why they're able to do what they do. So again, I encourage it, absolutely. And for my youngins out there, my young athletes, whether you're male or female, not yet, buddy. I'll let you know when she's here. I I encourage you. I know it's hard, but one thing I can suggest that will help is just be careful what you expose yourself to. Try to control those eyes. You know, I'm always talking about seeking out pros and cons when it comes to things, and I don't have perfect vision. I have to wear glasses. Everything that I wear is it has a prescription behind it. So I thank God for not giving me 20/20 vision, because sometimes I've said this to people that I somewhat trust. I don't trust anybody fully, but people I somewhat trust. I've told them I thank God for not giving me 20/20 vision, because sometimes I will go out purposely and not wear my contacts or not wear my glasses, the ones that are, have a prescription behind it. I will purposely do that, especially when I know I'm going to be around, a setting that's going to be very tempting. I do. I really do. And I'm not ashamed to do that, because I do whatever works for me. Whatever works for me, I'm going to do it, because a lot of things that works for me, I'm not hurting nobody. I'm not hurting Nathaniel. So that's what I do. That's what I do. So again, semen retention, I encourage it. I'm an advocate of it. If you want to be your best, that's what you got to do. That's one of the little small things that's going to add up to one whole great thing that's going to help you in life. Because again, psychologically, you don't want to be controlled by these females. And females, you don't want to be controlled by these men. For my guys, there's a lot of females who have a nice body. A lot of them are getting it. And when they wear certain types of clothes, they are all going to look the same. I mean, seriously, they are. Unless that person has unless you know that person beyond their looks, as far as looks, everybody has them. For females, a lot of guys are doing a lot of things to get, toned and muscle bound, and, it has to be more than looks. And I know that's easier said than done, because when you're in that temptation, when you're in that moment, when you're in that setting, everything that I'm saying is going to go completely out the door, even for myself. But that's why I remind myself. And that's why I'm now making a video that I can watch to remind myself from myself. But again, when it comes to females, BBLs, a lot of females, when you're around them long enough, you're going to find something attractive about them. Same thing for females. You can think nothing of a person, but when you're around them long enough, You're going to be looking at them. You're going to have conversations with them. You're going to be thinking about them every now and then. And those thoughts are going to become inappropriate because you're around that person. You're going to start to find them attractive. One common factor can lead to other things. It all starts up here. So for me, it's a psychological thing. And at the end of the day, like I said, I don't want these females to have no control over me. You know, I want to be an alpha male. That's what I see myself as. Again, I don't say that arrogantly, but I want to be an alpha male. I want to be around I want to be around Beyonce and not have to be stuttering and stammering with my words just because of the thoughts that I have towards her when I'm alone. And if anything, let yourself be encouraged by that one thing that I say. You want to be around that female that you think inappropriately of and about. You want to be around her and not give her that satisfaction and not letting her, but her realizing that she's making you feel some type of way. So if anything, let that be your encouragement. For females, let that be your encouragement. You want to be around that guy that you find so attractive that you want him to do whatever, all kinds of stuff to you. Lord have mercy. I'm glad I ain't got a daughter. You want to be around him and not give him that satisfaction of knowing that he has some type of effect on you. That's my whole thing. I don't want people to know they have an effect on me, period. Not even just with this subject matter, when it comes to anything. My nonchalant persona, I want that to be that exact thing when it comes to everybody. Is it always that? No, it's not. I'm not perfect, but I am in process of discovering what works for me. And whatever works for you, out of those suggestions that I just gave, hopefully one of those things will work. So this is my knowledge. This is my perspective on semen retention. Again, I encourage it. I do believe that it works, again, for both male and female. Just don't give in to the temptation. Don't give in to every single sexual desire because you're going to be tossed and turned by everyone. And I just don't think that's a good look. I really don't. Mind, muscle, spirit, motivation. Like, subscribe, share. Like I say with every video, hopefully it's beneficial to someone out there and hopefully it can change your life because that's what I'm all about. Building a nation of people who want to get better every single day together forever. Until next time, y'all, we out. Peace.